Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of So What Is Your Point? Today, Steve and I are talking about a subject that is probably something that everyone experiences sometime in their life, and that is how to eliminate the fear of doing anything. Now, this can involve public speaking, could involve jumping out of an airplane, could involve getting on an airplane, could involve so many things that if we could overcome the fear of doing something, it would make our life more productive and more impactful and eliminate some of our roadblocks to accomplishment. So Steve, what do you think about this idea of eliminating the fear of doing anything?
It's interesting to me that many people have various phobias, if you will, fears. I've read where psychologists have helped people overcome the fear by facing the fear. So for instance, if you're afraid to ride an elevator, they might take you out to an elevator and just look at it, and then go back in the office and talk about it. The next time they might go over and push the button and let the door open, and you watch that. And you go back and you talk about it. And then the next time you open the door and you step in. And then you step out and you go talk about it. But this the progression of actually facing the fear, so that by the time you actually ride the elevator up a floor and then up 2 floors and 3 floors and what have you, you can become much more composed and less fearful.
And people have different fears that hold them back in their lives year after year after year, and sometimes their entire lives. So that's a challenge that really everybody faces. How to break through those blocks. And you and I have one thing in common. You and I were both Toastmasters. We know that one of the most common fears is the fear of public speaking.
I've seen that happen many times. In the time frame that I was really active with Toastmasters, we would have people come in, and when they introduce themselves, say, "I'm here because I had to give a presentation and I freaked out. I need to learn how to give a presentation." And over a period of time, they struggled with it, but they became much more composed, much more able to deliver a presentation by doing it in a safe environment. One of the great things about Toastmasters is we're all there to get better. And we're always there to support those who are trying to get better and applying themselves.
Yeah, and they say that fear of public speaking is right up there with death itself.
I think Jerry Seinfeld. I think Jerry Seinfeld said that in one of his TV shows.
Yes, right, right.
In fact, I think the follow-up with that is people would rather be in the coffin than given the eulogy.
Because they would. Gosh! Wow. Yeah. So what are some methods and ways we can help people deal with this fear? In Toastmasters, I'll never forget the first time I spoke to a crowd. I wasn't used to speaking. I think I looked at my feet the entire time. But the second time you get better, and the third time you get better, and all of a sudden you start to relax because you realize that there's nothing that catastrophically happens to you when you give a speech and it doesn't go the way that you plan. And the fear just kind of melts away, which is really a pretty fantastic experience.
Right. I remember one time, when I was in college, I was in a class and we had to give speeches. And in this class, we had a lectern that was on casters. And the speaker got up there and he latched onto that lectern with both hands. And he moved that lectern around the stage, but he kept that lectern between him and the audience. He was so scared in that presentation, but he got better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that just goes to show you that whatever you want to conquer that you're fearful of, if you can take baby steps into it, maybe for some people, and then find some way to get support through either coaching or an organization like Toastmasters or some other organization that really supports its people going through some kind of change process, it definitely does make it simpler and easier.
Right.
Now, you and
Almost,
I, I'm
it's
sorry,
not
go
really,
ahead.
it's not really simpler. It's just straightforward.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
it's going to be hard. But we know that by doing certain things, we can get better at them, and our comfort level. Sometimes our comfort level may never get to be where you're just totally relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, all speakers have some sort of, I'm going to call it anxiety, anxiousness, whatever have you, as they get ready to go on a stage. Their adrenaline starts to rush. If they don't, they're not a great speaker. So to think about that feeling that's going on within your body, there's no reason to fear that. That's good.
Yeah, and I heard this person, author by the name of Mel Robbins. It's a lady, and she used to talk about how the experience of fear was felt in your body the same way excitement was. So if you can replace excitement for that fear, and that excitement displays in your body the same way, you would be able to turn that fear into a certain sense of excitement and thrill of doing it. I know when my latter years in Toastmasters, I was really excited to get up and speak and share my ideas and that kind of thing. And it had totally replaced any fear thoughts.
Right.
You and I came up with this idea, which I love, and it's a saying: understand why, commit, and apply. And, as we dissect this saying, understand why you're doing something, which is a really important thing to know as you jump into anything, and commit to doing it on a regular basis, and then apply it by continuously doing it. And this is such a valuable thing. And I have this on my wall all the time because it really will be a model for overcoming any kind of fear that of anything, not just public speaking, but of anything.
Right.
Fear does not go away by thinking about it, only by taking action. We have to jump in and do it to actually have any chance of getting the fear minimized.
Right. You can face a lot of terrors, but if you just roll up in a ball like a roly-poly bug, nothing's really going to happen.
Right, right.
You got to take action and
Right.
and if it's a little baby step at a time, that's great.
Yeah, yeah. And just keep doing it. So I guess the first step would be to try to identify what you feel is holding you back due to fear. And so you can make a list of probably many things that might be holding you back. And then commit to doing whatever it takes to overcome the fear.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you do overcome the fear, imagine the additional confidence you'll have.
One of the things you might consider is, as you consider what's holding you back, is to imagine what it would be like if you didn't have that fear.
Yeah.
A year from now, what would it be like if you didn't have that fear? What would you be able to do? What would you be able to accomplish? Where would you be in your life or your career if you overcame that?
And think of the number of hours you waste in fearful thinking. I mean, wow, that's probably weeks of time.
Hmm.
So, as a takeaway for people today, let's just share our model again. Use this model to overcome any fear that you have. Understand why, commit, and apply. I love the way that just rolls off the tongue, and it just is easy to commit to memory. And whenever you're facing any particular fear, identify what it is, understand why you want to overcome it, commit to doing it, and then keep doing it. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us today on So What Is Your Point? And we hope this has helped you overcome some of your fears about accomplishing anything that you might want to tackle in your life. We look forward to talking with you next week on So What Is Your Point? Bye for now.